Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 TV shows that were canceled after their first episode.
Battledozer! Kiss my fist!
Take your crickets and go shove 'em!
Urban crises, how I love 'em!
If you were the bloke in my town, you wouldn't be known as the woodman. You'd be the bloke with all the tattoos.
For this list, we're looking at shows that never got a second chance. We'll include shows that tried to continue somewhere else, and those that went on hiatus after episode 1, but didn't return under the same name. Do you think one or more of these shows got axed prematurely? Sound off in the comments. Number 20, The Hassel Hoffs.
I've been called a lot of names in my life. One that means the most to me now is Dad.
We open our list with a bit of fudge, as this 2010 reality show actually aired back-to-back episodes during its premiere before getting the axe. The Hassel Hoffs was an attempt by A&E to create a reality hit, following former Knight Rider star David Hasselhoff and his family.
I'm just a regular dad, trying to raise 2 kids. I'm tearing my hair out just like everybody else.
Only 718,000 viewers tuned in to watch the pilot, however, while the subsequent episode dropped the numbers down even further, to just over 500,000. The series was canceled, and David Hasselhoff never did anything again. We're kidding, obviously, as the Hoff continues to appear in just about any aspect of pop culture that will have him.
Hey, this is who we are. I'm proud of these girls. They're fantastic children.
Number 19, Osbournes Reloaded. Even for fans of the Osbournes, Osbournes Reloaded was not a welcome return.
Weak signal, that's about what's that? That weak signal.
In fact, it wasn't even really a reality show, but rather a variety show.
It's just fun, it's goofy stuff and
That's why it's called Osbournes Reloaded, because we're back, but we're different.
It combined taped skits with live comedy routines and musical performances, a la a really terrible version of Saturday Night Live. Want to hear how bad Fox thought it was? The one and only aired episode was supposed to be an hour long, but after it was edited down to almost half that length, an episode of American Idol was actually made longer to fill in the rest of the time slot. Yikes. Number 18, Ford Nation. Former Toronto Mayor Rob Ford made international headlines when footage surfaced of him using illegal substances and acting erratically.
Am I an addict? No.
When have
I tried it? Probably in one of my drunken stupors.
Sounds like a perfect candidate to host an off-the-cuff talk show, right? Well, someone thought Ford Nation was a great idea because that is exactly what happened in 2013.
You've heard the criticism and the counselors. Now tonight, I want you to listen to me.
The show, which was hosted by Ford and his brother Doug, aired on November 13th to a decent amount of viewers.
There are more poor people than rich people in the city. I take the side of the poor people that have been neglected.
However, not even the morbidly curious could save Ford Nation from being canceled less than a day after it hit the airwaves.
I'm an average guy who fights for the little guy in life. That's the bottom line.
The high production costs and Ford's, let's call it advertiser-unfriendly persona led to its doom.
I'm happily married. I've got more than enough to eat at home.
Although the host tried to continue a series on YouTube, the revival was short-lived. Number 17, Ahora la Mundial. If you're going to produce a post-game analysis show, be sure to staff your panel with actual sports journalists. That seems like a no-brainer.
It is Russia's party, and the party goes on!
Spanish-language sports show Ahora la Mundial seemed to miss this all-important step when they debuted their first and only episode in 2018. The show intended to offer deep commentary on Spain's progress in that year's FIFA World Cup. But instead of hiring sports writers, Ahora la Mundial employed gossip columnists and entertainment journalists. This caused the show to face swift backlash from critics and coaches almost immediately. The show was canceled by its parent channel Telecinco after only one episode.
You're fired.
You can't fire me! I got a contract!
Number 16, Bubsy.
What could possibly go wrong?
For those who were lucky, or is that unlucky enough to have caught this failed pilot, it may have seemed like a fever dream. But don't worry, you're not crazy. A Bubsy cartoon did indeed air its only episode on November 28, 1993.
Uncle Bubsy, we're bored. Yeah, can we play with the helmet now? Absolutely not!
The show was an attempt to spin the fledgling video game franchise off into the animated world, and was bizarrely sponsored by Taco Bell.
Ready? Free fall!
Information is scarce as to why Bubsy never aired again, but we do know that Bubsy creator Michael Berlin liked the show's take on the characters. Judging on the pilot's relative obscurity, he was one of the few.
Success!
Number 15, Rosie Live. Just because a celebrity finds success in multiple mediums doesn't necessarily mean they'll be good at everything. Case in point, Rosie O'Donnell.
People ask me why NBC gave me my own show, and quite frankly, it's part of the bailout.
By 2008, she had a solid stand-up comedy career, had received acclaim for movies like A League of Their Own,
Don't you start with me! Don't start!
and had a strong talk show run with The Rosie O'Donnell Show.
It's the Rosie O'Donnell Show!
But when she tried to revive the variety show genre with Rosie Live, the results were disastrous.
Martha, what are you doing here?
What do you mean, what am I doing here? I'm here to do a big, splashy opening number with you because you're the best and I love you.
Despite featuring guests like Alanis Morissette and Liza Minnelli, the show couldn't sing or dance its way into the hearts of audiences or critics.
Take jump crickets and go shove 'em.
Urban crises, how I love 'em!
An extremely negative response resulted in Rosie Live being axed after its one and only episode on November 26, 2008. Number 14, Battletoads. It seems like a slam dunk, right?
It sounds cosmically cosmic.
If the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were a hit, why not adapt another popular video game into a Saturday morning cartoon?
Give me a break.
Well, it seems like not even a major ad campaign in magazines like GamePro could save Battletoads.
Battledozer! Kiss my fist!
It only managed to muster a single pilot episode that aired over the 1992 Thanksgiving holiday. And this syndicated debut was poorly received by viewers at the time.
You'll never defeat us, cosmic super toads!
You insolent toads! I'll destroy you! Fire!
And honestly, it doesn't seem to have aged well either. However, if you just have to scratch that itch of morbid curiosity, it is available on VHS. Number 13, The Melting Pot. Sometimes it's fairly easy to figure out why a particular television series was canceled.
There is serious tension behind the scenes, and an internal review is underway.
A TV show called The Melting Pot had an obvious casting problem. The lead character, who is supposed to be a Pakistani immigrant, is played by British-Irish actor Spike Milligan in brownface. Although 6 episodes of The Melting Pot were filmed, the BBC series was cancelled after airing its pilot on June 11, 1975, due to poor reception over its content. Not even a major cast overhaul could convince execs to air the remaining episodes of The Melting Pot. We certainly can't say that we blame the network. Number 12, Walter. Easy to see why a network would want to spin off a successful TV series.
In Korea, we found them facing the horrors of war. Now home, how are they facing civilian life?
MASH was one of those select few that received not 1, not 2, but 3 different spin-offs.
I'm Dr. McIntyre. This is Dr. Gates.
How is he, Doctor? How's my father?
Well, he's out of immediate danger, but his condition remains critical.
While After MASH and Trapper John MD managed to find audiences, the 3rd series only managed to squeak out a single episode. Gary Berghoff reprises his role as Corporal Walter Radar O'Reilly.
So, how do I look? Like a rookie? I hope not. Hey, not bad for off the rack.
The plot revolves around how depressing his life is.
You keep the ring. I'll keep the pop-up toaster. Sincerely, your former loving wife, Sandy.
At one point, Radar plans to misuse pills before he has a meet-cute with future SNL star Victoria Jackson at the drugstore.
Are you on your honeymoon?
Well, I was. She ran out on me.
He then decides to join the police force. Remind us why this wasn't picked up again? Number 11, Pakun, the show van 1 miljoen. Some TV shows become bombs for the ages. A Belgian show titled Pakun, de show van 1 miljoen, or Take the Cash, the show of 1 million, is a prime example.
En wat levert deze eerste spelronde op? 32 punten voor Frank. Dat betekent...
It debuted shortly after the government allowed commercial television on the airwaves. While contestants tried to win the million Belgian francs on the line, nothing seemed to work the way it was supposed to.
Van Sinterklaas, een grote porseleinen vas vol yoghurt en pindakaas.
The show had failing lights, dysfunctional technology, hilariously wooden hosts, and a finale that was an absolute disaster.
Beko, fout Aznavour. L'indifférence. Beko, goed, Dieu.
The show didn't even make it to episode 2. Even a retooled version titled The Pakun Show only managed 2 more episodes before cancellation. Number 10. The Will. Ever seen a movie where a bunch of sleazy relatives are competing and conspiring against one another to win a huge inheritance? Ever wanted to see that scenario in a reality show setting? No? Well, neither do we. That's probably why The Will was such a notorious bomb when it debuted in 2005. The show centered around a group of people vying to inherit a Kansas ranch from the benefactor. The usual backstabbing and drama ensued, only this time marinated in the sort of bad taste one might expect from a premise this stupid. Thankfully, The Will qualified for our list, though some of its banked episodes later aired.
I mean, isn't our self-respect worth more than any inheritance?
Number 9. Secret Talents of the Stars.
So welcome everyone to Secret Talents of the Stars.
Secret Talents of the Stars was an attempt to replicate the runaway success of the celebrity competition show Dancing with the Stars, but ended up a disaster. The show was set up in a similar fashion to its touchstone, with celebrities competing against each other in a talent show of sorts. Each week, viewers at home would have been able to vote forward their favorites, while 3 judges would add in their own commentary as to who should stay and who should go. Secret Talents of the Stars was the one to go, however, and didn't even get to air another episode before getting the axe.
All right, America, we're just getting warmed up.
Number 8. Emily's Reasons Why Not.
He works in this office, actually, and he is an expert in a little martial art I like to call Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Millions of dollars reportedly went into the promotion of Emily's Reasons Why Not, a hopeful hit that hinged upon its star, Heather Graham, and that molded itself as ABC's take on HBO's popular Sex and the City franchise. Unfortunately, the pilot episode, which was chock-a-block with gay stereotypes and stale humor, bombed in the ratings department, and was canceled, you guessed it, after airing just 1 episode.
That is very gay behavior.
Emily's Reasons Why Not did live on afterwards, however, as all 7 of the show's filmed episodes were eventually aired in other countries and released on DVD in 2012.
Maybe you should go.
Number 7. South of Sunset.
Glenn Fry from the Eagles. I'm 18. When he was hot, I was an embryo.
Glenn Fry was a part-time actor but a full-time musician, and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a founding member of the Eagles.
Take it easy, take it easy.
But forget fame. Shame is perhaps a better word to describe Fry's 1993 series South of Sunset, which only mustered up 1 episode before cancellation. To be fair, audiences on the West Coast didn't even get a chance to see much of the show, as its debut was largely preempted by news coverage of the Malibu wildfires. This didn't stop South of Sunset's fate, however, leaving the 4 other filmed episodes unseen, until they were broadcast years later on VH1.
Such a lowlife. How'd I get into this crap anyway?
Number 6. You're in the Picture.
It's a very simple game, and as soon as I explain it to you, I know you'll catch on immediately.
Our next entry proves that sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches and make lemonade out of some damn lemons. You're in the Picture was a disastrous attempt at a game show hosted by the Honeymooner star Jackie Gleason, which was axed after its first episode. Gleason owned up to it, though, and appeared in the following week's time slot with a half-hour apology, complete with live commercials.
I'm telling you, friends, that I've seen bombs in my day. This would make the H-bomb look like a 2-inch salute.
Strangely enough, the apology received better ratings, and Gleason was allowed to replace You're in the Picture with The Jackie Gleason Show, an interview program that filled out his contractual obligations for the network.
The only way to go, I'll tell you that.
Number 5. Public Morals. Stephen Bochco was one of those great television writers who was often ahead of the curve and a trendsetter.
I think we should call it quits.
Meaning what? Meaning us being partners.
The man's work as a co-creator on Hill Street Blues and NYPD Blue revolutionized the police procedural. However, nobody's perfect. Public Morals was a different Botchko production that attempted to mix the NYPD Vice Squad with situation comedy.
Tomorrow is Bring Your Kids to Work Day, when we encourage members of the force to, well, I think the name speaks for itself.
But its strong language and offensive humor got the show tons of negative press.
You look really familiar.
I do?
Uh-huh. Have you ever robbed a bank before?
No.
Are you sure?
After it made its debut on October 30th, 1996, it was canceled. A full season of Public Morals was actually produced, but we'll never know if the show was actually ahead of its time or just as bad as Botchko's Cop Rock.
And you foot patrols, keep a lookout for that supermarket Robin Hood. He been stealing from the stores and giving to the poor. He's the hero of the neighborhood.
Number 4. Lawless.
Get away from me, I'll shoot you.
The NFL career of Brian Bosworth may have been something of a bust, but that didn't stop the former All-American from trying his hand at acting. The Boz scored something of a cult hit with the 1991 action flick Stone Cold, but still couldn't resonate with the mainstream. Lawless was an attempt at rectifying this, and featured Bosworth as a special forces op who solves crimes and rides a Harley on South Beach. If this premise sounds flimsy and generic, that's because it is. And Lawless only got its pilot episode out the door before its demise. The Boz continues to act though, so don't feel too bad for him.
Everybody on their feet for the warden.
Number 3. Coed Fever.
Dear Mom and Dad, I'm fine. How are you? School's okay. There's not much new.
This sitcom's concept was an all-girls college-going co-ed, and was a bald-faced attempt at replicating the big screen success of National Lampoon's Animal House for a television audience. Thing is, it barely had a chance to get out of the starting gate.
It feels so good to drop a book and have someone in pants pick it up and hand it back to me. With his phone number written all over the inside cover.
It aired its sole episode, Pepperoni Passion, as a special preview on February 4th, 1979, but was then canceled even before it could start airing on its scheduled night. Coed Fever was eventually put to good use though, as its dorm set was eventually adapted for The Facts of Life.
The facts of life. The facts of life.
Number 2. Turn On.
Time to turn on.
This one was ahead of its time. Turn On was a surreal sketch comedy show that made history by being the only series to be canceled partway into its pilot episode. Yeah, you heard right. The show was created by the folks behind Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, but was yanked due to its psychedelic approach, wild synthesizer music, and bawdy sexual humor.
She said it was wonderful, and she thanked me for the big one.
Today, it's known as one of the biggest critical and commercial bombs in history. Although its blink and you missed it existence serves as a tantalizing example of what could have been for fans of transgressive comedy.
It got canceled in New York, and when it got to Ohio, they shut it off after 15 minutes.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. Mesmerized. Look deep into our eyes. You'll never watch this again.
And sleep.
Dot Comedy. A show focused on internet humor was way too ahead of its time.
This is what we like to call the excitable cat.
He's all right at the moment.
Oh, he's
And
quite
then it goes
happy.
wrong.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Heil Honey, I'm Home.
Heil, honey, me.
File this one under what the hell were they thinking? Well, the intention behind the British Heil Honey, I'm Home was to satirize what the creator saw as stupid and stock cliches of the typical American sitcom. The results, however, featured Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun as a Desi and Lucy sort of couple who live next door to a Jewish family, the Goldensteins.
You wanted to get out that Adolf Hitler insults his neighbors? Relax!
Complaints were swift, with many accusing the show of trivializing Hitler and the Holocaust. Despite the existence of other World War II parodies like Hogan's Heroes, the show was immediately canceled, although it has been reported that other filmed episodes do exist, somewhere out in the mist of bad taste.
Look at my outfit! I'm just one of the boys! I'm a real fun guy!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Ms. Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.